Here are a couple of ways that you can work on your artwork with the intention of the end result. Now, the end result, you might think, is the finished piece of art. But consider this. If you're going to use your art for consumer products, large prints, something that you need very high resolution, you may very well end up not using your camera to take a picture of your art, but instead using a scanner so that you can get that very high resolution. Well, if that is indeed the end result for your artwork, one of the things that you'll want to do is work to a size that accommodates going onto the faceplate of your scanner. I use a flatbed scanner, and for economic reasons, it's a regular scanner that goes A3 size, which is 8.5 by 11. So what does that mean to me? That means that on that front part of the scanner, my artwork has to fit within that 8.5 inch format. I like to work square, so that means that my artwork needs to fit on that 8.5 inch format. So if I'm producing art that is larger than 8.5 inches, I'm going to lose part of that artwork. Might not be important to you, but composition is very important to me. So one of the things that I can do to end up with artwork that ends up in that final status, the way I want it to be, is to limit myself to the footprint that will fit on my scanner to begin with. There are a number of things that I've done that helped me to work in a standard format size that will fit on my scanner. For instance, if I'm going to work bigger than the 8.5 inch size for my scanner, I need to have my crop bars where I'm considering my art to be in that 8.5 inch. What I did is I took an old mat and I ended up cutting it in such a way that the two L's of it, here and here, could be adjusted so that I end up with an 8.5 inch format for my scanner. How did I accomplish this? Well, one of the easiest ways to get these corners to be square is to take a piece of mat board and cut the 8.5 inch footprint that you need. You can use something like this to decide what the end part of your artwork is going to be on that scanner, but it is often hard to imagine what we're getting of our artwork when we're covering it up. So what is the best way to get these crop bars to be 8.5 inches? Well, cut your 8.5 inch square piece, put your two L shapes around it, fasten them down, and then you will see that your crop bars will accommodate you getting to the 8.5 inch square format that you need for your scanner. You can use a number of different templates that you have cut for different sizes, and then you can move in these L-shaped mat corners so that you've got the size you want. You can use double stick tape to be able to reposition these L's into the configuration that you need. Now, I know that the 8.5 inches is really what I need. So I can cozy this down into the corner on the right hand side here, And I can see that I'm a little sloppy up here. I'm not quite square anymore since I did this little lift with the double stick tape. So let's go ahead and release that, cozy it up to my 8.5 inch square, stick it down again, and then at that point I have a viewing window that will help me to put my larger artwork in the window in such a way that it works for me. So this is a very handy, nice way to do this. You can keep these prop bars in your drawer or standing upright with your paintings, but keep them in your studio so that you can always be looking at the format and determining what you need for on your scanner. These two design paintings are done on Deliwrap. Deliwrap is something that's available in the restaurant supply places, big stores like Costco, and then also you can find some sort of variation of it on Amazon, different online sources for restaurant supplies and so on. What you want is a Deliwrap that is able to accept your water media and not send it skittering all over the place. It does dry out pretty quickly. One of the beauties of working on Deliwrap is when I'm traveling, I can have hundreds, if not thousands, of paintings that I can do both plein air and in the studio. And all of these are readily portable, and I can bring them back and later work with them in my studio. What I do is I will often have a magazine that I have used the different page folds to capture these. Then when I get back to my big studio, I can do further artwork from them, or they might be finished pieces. So here are some of the finished pieces that I have created from artwork that I've been able to create in advance, possibly someplace else. Bits and pieces that I have taken from magazines, newspapers, previous paintings. Anything is a likely candidate to be worked on later. And because I'm collecting those papers in my folders or books, I'm able to work with them on an ongoing basis. So if I decide that I need to have a bit of turquoise in one of my paintings, I can go to one of these magazines or folders, find exactly the color that I want to work with, and sample it out by cutting, tearing, any one of the many ways that I can choose to go about getting that on there. So for instance, a small little bit of something as complex as this could end up as one of the spots on my painting. So that's there's some ideas for you. That is how you can create artwork to size for your scanner, or to size for perhaps a mat or frame that you already own. by creating these cutouts so that they're square. These can be on a mat board, illustration board, really anything that you have handy. You probably want something a little stable, like even cardstock. Then once you have that format, how you can go about getting your crop bars set to size so that you can see what you are looking at. And ultimately, it also helps once your work surface gets really messy from all of your pieces and parts. It helps you to see what the final scan is going to be, which in turn gives you the high resolution that you need to print these much bigger, feature them in a magazine article, turn them into consumer products such as something as large as a duvet cover, a shower curtain, a rug. So that is my technique for working to size for my scanner. Also introduces some of the benefits of working on the deli paper for prints. And in another video, I will cover carving the blocks that make these repetitive patterns that I love to work with. Thank you very much. Have a great day.